am going to just start. How am I going to do this? I think I want to go this way, right? Yeah. And I'm going to work with some of the ones that I think might not be as color fast as I'd like them to be. So I'm just going across with some nice marks, and I'm not going to worry exactly about which pastel they are. You might want to do that. I can have a good idea once I'm done, and I can compare, because I don't have that extensive a collection of these, but I do use them quite a bit for my underpaintings. So I want them to be good. I want them to be quality. I really don't want them to fade. I'd like to have the painting look like what my intention was, you know, a number of years from now, maybe a few decades. Heading into my purples here, because I have a feeling purples is one of the ones that changes the most. I'm trying to get down a good amount of pastel in each section. I want to try this magenta because this is one of my favorites. And I know that the quality of each pigment itself is what's really important. Yes, there's binders. Yes, maybe there's more, say, titanium ground in there or something. But the most important thing is the basic hue, and that's what I'm aiming for. I'm going to switch this over to a time lapse and then come back to you. I put down a good amount of each pastel. If I were to do this again, I would use a better paper, because as you see in the future, the paper turns yellow. There's a good sampling of the colors I have over here. Now I'm going to take just a scrap piece of paper, fold it nicely in half, and I am going to lay that over a good segment. Of my samples. And what that is going to do is keep what's underneath quite lightfast, I hope. It's a double layer piece of paper. At some point in the future I might want to make that with black paper. You know, I'm kind of wondering about that. Do I have any black tape maybe I can lay over? Not right here with me at the moment. I'm going to lay another piece right over it, all of it, just to kind of thicken what's happening underneath. You know, thickening this area so that it's going to be darker. And I may, as I'm going through this experiment, cover that with something darker along the way. There. I mean, I think that's going to be a pretty good sampling. I'm going to take this. I hope there's no light leakage at the edge, but over here there won't be. There'll be less in this area. Put this in the window, on the windowsill for a while. And as I finish up this video, I will tell you exactly how long I left it in the windowsill. I am going to date it right here. And what is today? August 24. And leave it there as long as I can and see how good it comes out. And then you can see my samples. But it's vital that we each do this for ourselves. Yes, we have the generalization of how color fast a certain pigment is, but how color fast are the items that you have in your box? For instance, for me, I have some of my homemade pigments. I made them from pure pigments, but I would like to see how those act in the sun as well. How light fast are they? What is the fugitive rating of that particular pastel? So set this up for yourself, try it out, and then let's compare later on. Here's the pure pastel when I first put it down so we can see the colors. And here is 6 months later after they've been in light, and you can see the dividing line. The paper has yellowed and a number of the pastels have actually faded. So right here you can compare and find out which ones do fade and which ones remain strong in their pigment. Later I purchased some of these Mungyo student grade pastels, and I wanted to use them for my very beginning classes so they wouldn't have to spend a lot of money trying out new pastels and to get the feel of it. So I tested a number of these as well, and this time I used a sanded paper so that the paper would not fade. Again, a good amount of pastel for each color that I'm using. I kind of went across the board and took a sampling of certain types, certain families of colors. Then I did the covering up of half of the paper. So here's what they look like on the dark paper. And later on, this was 2 months later, not the 6 months, you can see that already some of them have faded, but others are staying strong. So that's my experiment. I was also given a set of partially used Create a Color sticks, and even without doing a Colorfast test, you can see the amount of change that these have gone through. I don't know what kind of storage situation they were in, but you can see by yourself. So test your pastels so you know how light fast they are. For more information, see the ASTM Pastel Standard for pigment at this link.